Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's Countdown to Whirl. Some major progress done today. I've actually tried to use After Effects on my laptop, and it works like butter, and I love it. So now I can actually animate stuff more slickly on it. I'm actually kind of blown that that went beyond my expectations. So yeah, I'm almost done the opening for it, and I actually got a pretty good animated one. Not the best, but whatever. So the opening should be done soon, and that means I'll be able to get the. If things play out right, I might be able to get something up by next month. The opening thing prologue video is going to be about 10 minutes long, just for a title sequence. Oh my god, and the whole thing's just a parody. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll keep you and enjoy the show tonight.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show. We talk nerd. As you can imagine, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. By the way, as you can imagine, it's been a rough week for fans, especially those of the of Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Ball series. And shit just hits you, doesn't it? Just really hits you when something like that happens. Um, I'm here tonight with Kuma the Sleepy and Jablonski. Thank you for joining us again tonight, guys. Jablonski is monitoring the Oscars. Oh, he's not watching it. He's just watching responses and everything.
Yeah, and oh boy, animation gets shafted yet again.
Okay.
So, animation categories got a total of 5 minutes, and and also a joke that really pisses everyone off, and I'm irritated at this too. Apparently, Jimmy Kimmel made a joke that can be summed up as "animation is for kids."
Jablonski, I need you to hold on. I'm gonna need you to just center yourself. Let me just get your back and going. But anyway, wait, he said what now?
Yeah, he was saying that essentially saying that animation is for
Oh,
kids.
fuck that noise. Fuck that noise and all of its sound
The
ends.
the irony though is that the movie that won is a PG-13 film.
This was Miyazaki's one, right?
Yep,
Oh my god. Wait,
because Disney decided to choke, 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 choke.
actually, was what that Miyazaki film, what was it called again? I keep forgetting the name. I apologize.
The boy and the heron.
Was it dubbed yet?
Yeah,
Nope. You keep forgetting something. Dubbed Miyazaki films are technically Disney films. You completely
I
forgot
don't
that,
think.
didn't you?
Hold on.
Yeah, Disney does the dubs. I think they still do. Let me see.
Honestly,
Do they do
that's what I'm
do?
looking up. No, I think G Kids.
G Kids did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't sound right
yeah,
because I don't
G Kid.
remember them.
They dumped Disney a while back.
Huh. Stand corrected.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't sound right because
Yeah,
yeah, I don't remember that.
G Kids does it now.
Last thing they
Yeah,
did was was the what was the one with the planes?
The Wind
The Wind
Rises.
Rises. Thank you. Yeah, I think that was the last one they did. I can't remember too off the top of my head. But yeah, and I guess speaking of anime, I guess so how you guys doing? Shocked at the news?
Mm, I mean, the guy was old.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
Like
yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't.
I mean, he
Yeah,
was
I'm sorry. I don't mean to like downplay the death or anything,
yeah,
but yeah, the guy was like he was up there. Yeah, sorry.
well,
It's not that I'm like sad or depressed that he's gone or anything. It's like uh, this is similar like to the whole thing of being like a big fan and all like that. Like, yes, I enjoy the guy's work and everything, but I'm not like really stunned or anything by the death or
I would
anything
be.
like that.
I mean, like, yeah, he was old, but like young old in a way. I mean, like he was only six. How old was he? He's like
he was on the
68?
lower end of old.
68? I guess I could say that'd be old.
Yeah, the dude that is old. Like, what are you talking about?
Like with me and old, it's like how do I describe this? Like what is your age that sets you to be officially old?
Let's see. I think on the paper it usually say 55 and up.
I guess that makes sense.
Because I go off like I think of like the papers that you have to sign in it, or like you
Yeah.
usually have like the little check mark boxes where it's like, oh, are you 18 to 25, 25 to 36, that kind of idea.
Let me see. What age? What do I put down here? What age are you officially considered old?
I don't know.
For me, I have a kind of a scale.
60 years or older is the in the United Nations, for example, considers the old age to be 60 years or older. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Well,
he was old. That was pretty close. That was pretty
I was
close.
I was giving them some credit because I was saying 55.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think the thing that
But
the thing that really shocks me the most about his death was there wasn't any. Well, when he died in March 1st, and it was like released 7 days later. First of all, I want to give kudos to them for keeping that under wraps until like they were ready to like come out with it. But I think it's just the way he died. It was just like that just came out of fucking nowhere. Come on.
yeah, this didn't hit as hard as say JDF was for me, but
No,
I felt it.
the way he died is actually a common way that happens to people that are at his age. It was an acute subdermal hematoma, which is basically where blood like collects between the skull and the surface of the brain. And yeah, that kind of happens to mostly, I think, usually old people or people within
Yeah,
older age. Yeah, so like it's not that it's a shock or anything. It's just that it's
I,
just a surprise that it happened.
Mm.
I think it's more of a it's more of a shock in a way of it just happened,
No,
Like
yeah, yeah, that's what I
and
like
mean.
let me
people
put
are
it
kind of reeling from it still.
like let me put it like this way. Satoru Iwata, he died of bile duct. Was it bile duct cancer?
I don't remember.
I know it was a tumor in his bile duct. I don't know what the official name is, but like he went through a procedure once and everybody kind of knew. But then when it came back, nobody had any knew it came back. And I don't think he did either, but like, cancer is an unpredictable thing, so
Well,
yeah.
yeah, that's. I was just gonna say, yeah, that's kind of unpredictable, but there are things
I think
to like go about it as well too,
I mean, we
and
still
the difference between
nobody really knew
yeah,
anything
never
was
mind.
wrong with him. That was the thing. Like,
Well,
still, it's a
yeah,
little bit, it's just a little bit kind of shocking to me. I mean, like, Toriyama, I feel he when it came to Ball Z, I saw it when I was just a wee lad, and I thought a lot
well,
of it, but
everyone kind of was.
what? Wait, what?
Everyone was kind of young when they first saw it.
Yeah, I know. One of the thing, however, I can't. One thing that was interesting was that the Dragon Ball Z manga was the first manga I ever read, and I didn't. And it was the thing that got me introduced to it. Like I was in the airport, right, in the Orlando airport, and we were at a bookstore waiting for our flight. And my dad was asking if I wanted to get any books. And I was looking around. He's like, "Here, you should check this one out, Dragon Ball Z." I'm like, "You like that?" He's like, "You like that?" I'm like, "I didn't know this was a graphic novel." He's like, "No, it's a Japanese manga." So it reads like left to like right to left, and I'm like, how does it? So he gets it for me. I read it. I'm like, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, so, and and this is kind of more of like probably an understatement, is that if it wasn't for Toriyama, anime would not be where it's at today.
I can heavily agree on that actually.
He changed the game entirely.
Indeed, definitely bringing
Not
in
really change, more influence.
Well,
one of
this fair point. The way that I see it too is take a look back at a lot of the anime that has been out in the past 20 years, like past 20, 25 years. A majority of the influence of these animes and mangas can be traced back to Toriyama in some way, shape, or form.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Influence,
Yeah.
not that he
Mhm.
changed anything. He just influenced how people like do things.
He
I
also somebody. I think I remember somebody writing down there down in a comment section saying you could say what you want about anime. May when you look back at when you were a kid watching Cartoon Network, there were two major animes you watched. It was Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z, or at least they were like the top tier ones at the time.
yeah.
Yes,
And
yeah.
yeah, if anybody had never seen Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon, you probably wouldn't be where you are today watching anime. Because
I will be honest and saying
I
no.
know you're gonna disagree
I
with me. I know you're gonna disagree
well,
with me.
because you say all these things that like that this is all the things that happen to people when I'm right here going like, no, that didn't specifically happen to me. I got into anime a different way.
Well, me, it was
Like
Pokemon.
yeah, basically Pokemon. Like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon were there. I just didn't
Yeah.
get that much into them until like I was older.
Same. With me, I like the movies more than I do the show.
What the anime?
Like,
What Dragon Ball Z? Or like
well, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, I like the movies more.
I will say that this is a hot take. Dragon Ball GT is actually one of my favorites.
hmm,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I know
People
it
have
gets a
a lot
lot
of
of
flack
shit.
on it.
I
Yeah, I
think
don't know why. I
like
mean, it's still nice.
the only thing I hated about GT was the story, but I like the action sequences. I thought the characters were good.
What was there to hate? What
I
was
just
there
didn't
to
like
hate?
the
The story
idea
was
like,
nice.
okay, Goku's young again now. And I'm like, okay.
The
And that is that all? Like,
No, he's
Yeah, that
actually
was just
doing it
it.
right this time around.
I just said that was it. That was the only thing I didn't really like about it, but other than that, nothing.
but that's not even part of the story. That's not even the whole story. That's
Well,
just that's literally the beginning.
I know that's literally the only thing I hated. That was it.
But you said the story. That I'm sorry. You could just say the one thing that was just that, but you're saying the story, which is the whole
Pretty
thing
much.
of them going to
Okay,
space and
I don't
having
want
to go to
to.
different
I
planets and
don't want to
everything.
get into a huge debate with
What I
this,
find what I
honestly.
find funny, and this is what I kind of like about what I liked about Toriyama, and I
Hmm?
just found this out recently too, is that the only reason why Dragon Ball Super exists
Oh yes.
is because of Dragon Ball fucking evolution.
Yeah, I actually saw a quote from that. He said actually was actually I think I still have it on the quote page here. Let me see.
Yeah, he hated that movie so much he was like, you know what? No, I'm making more.
Yeah. Here it is. Inside me, Dragon Ball became a thing of the past, but later I got upset at the live action film, revised the script for the anime film, and complained about the quality of the TV anime. I guess at some point it became a work that I like so much I can't leave it alone.
And what's funny too, and actually this is extreme, like big respect. The guy that played Goku in that movie, he even came out and said that came out when Toriyama passed away, saying that he was sorry for what happened with that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he actually he
I thought a
obviously
lot of people
regrets
would.
it.
A lot of people would have done it. Of course, Toriyama had other stories as well.
Yeah,
As well as his contributions to other things. Like one of the more notable stuff was his contributions to Chrono Trigger.
yep, and Dragon Quest.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting he did Dragon Quest. Doctor Slump.
Yep.
What else did he do? He did Jacko. Was a manga, had a manga of his own. Sandland. Jeez, what else did he do? Did he do Case Closed?
I don't know.
I don't know if he did Case Closed.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm. But yeah, he also his contributions to like Shonen Jump, he did a lot. He did a lot. I loved his art style. I
Yeah.
What's the best way you could describe his art style in a way?
Unique.
Unique. That's a good way to put it. Uh, it's a bit indescribable, but like I think it's more or less the shading that stood out from it. More or less
Though, yeah.
like the shadow. There were more shadows than highlights on some of his shots. It was like shadows over like solids.
Yeah, and I actually was talking with someone on Toonami's Facebook page
Yeah,
about this, and I said my claim was that without Dragon Ball, well, Dragon Ball Z, there really wouldn't be a Toonami.
yeah. That
It would
is.
be more. It it would be more of, at least not in the way that it's been known to be, as the way it is, like it's anime central. I don't think it would have been that. It probably would have been in its original roots of superheroes.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that because I feel like it still would have. It's just that I don't think it would have been that heavily anime influenced because like there were other networks that did show anime as well too besides Cartoon Network. It's just that you either didn't have the actual connection or cables, or you didn't have
Yeah.
the channel to it or anything. But
Yeah, I
yeah, there
remember
were other
Sci-Fi.
networks.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
remember
and
Sci-Fi
and
doing it.
uh and
Yeah. Well, the
Spike
problem.
TV had
That was
Abram.
later on down the road, though.
The thing was,
Yeah,
I actually saw a documentary about that. That there were other channels that had anime. The problem was they were either buried in the time slots or they were not really. What's the word I'm looking for? How do I just? Like,
advertised.
they weren't advertised as much. They were like hidden in the time slots. They were either like in the middle of the night or like way early in the morning, and there was like.
Yeah, and that
Not
was
to mention they were
almost
also very downplayed, honestly. Like example, like one of the things
which
one guy who did a retrospective on Toonami said, I want you to look at the old commercials where they advertised Dragon Ball Z on like I think it was the Fox network at one point, or it might have been WB.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that where it was Sonic that did it.
Yeah, it's like and now for some super powered guys and some nasty foes. Here comes Dragon Ball
I think
Z.
that was the whole joke,
Dragon
though.
Ball Dragon Ball When it came to Toonami, however, Toonami didn't like talk down to you. It took to you. They treated everything with respect and the heritage. I mean, like it wasn't like Speed Racer what Makagoga was for Speed Racer or anything like that, or the Mighty Atom was to Astro
Uh,
Boy.
are we forgetting Johnny Bravo
I heard that
narrating
clip.
over
I
Dragon Ball
heard that
Z?
clip was found. Although funny enough, one thing I found really interesting was something I actually read when I was looking for quotes here. He said there was a manga boom, so I read Astro Boy and Matsukun and such. But what influenced me the most were the things like Popeye and Disney animation, which I really didn't even
Yeah, that's
I did not know that. I actually found that really cool.
I mean in some of his work you could see it.
I
yeah.
know,
It's
really?
pretty obvious.
I have to take a look
Yeah,
again.
it's
I have to look again.
like
It's really cool.
never mind.
What?
No, I just love how
No,
I
no,
can talk, but then you'll interrupt me with things, and then we have to just continue
no,
on.
just
So
go on. Tell me what am I?
no, you've interrupted me so many fucking times
I
already, so it doesn't
apologize.
really
I
matter.
apologize. It's what are you gonna say? I want to hear.
No, because I wanted to say more earlier, but it's just
All
no. We
right,
gotta move on.
Jablonski,
We
you
gotta move on.
tell me what influ what where it shines? What Disney influence?
I would have to say the stories,
I mean, I guess.
because think about it. When it came to Disney, he adapted a lot of stuff from European culture. A lot of the European stories, like the Brothers Grimm, and uh, like Little Mermaid, Cinderella.
Oh yeah, he did do Little Mermaid. I forgot about that. He did was it a manga or an animated series?
No, I was more referring to Disney.
What?
Well,
I'm
Disney.
asking what elements of Disney did Toriyama include in his work?
That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay, go ahead. Excuse me.
So with Disney, how he adapted old stories from European cultures.
Hmm.
So like Snow White, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, stuff like that. Toriyama essentially made Journey to the West into its own story
Oh yeah,
with Dragon Ball,
A
the
version of
first
its
one
own story.
specifically.
yeah.
Huh?
A version of its own story.
Yeah, it's a version of it,
Yeah.
but it's
Good.
still based in Journey to the West.
Kind of, but not mostly just the characters, not like the story
Yeah.
specifically, because we're not following some priest kid that's trying to go across the world to save something. It's
Yeah.
mainly just Goku being Sun Wukong influence, basically.
Yeah.
I gotta see. Is it Journey to the West
So
is a book, isn't it?
let's put it this way too. You've made it in the world as an artist and as a person when even the Chinese government mourns your loss.
Are you serious? They did.
Yeah, they did. And also apparently, I can't confirm this, but apparently there was a temporary ceasefire
Oh
of
yeah, with the cartel.
the cartels in Mexico.
I could believe it just because that studies have
But
shown that when a new episode of Dragon Ball Z had come on air, the
yeah,
some of the crime would kind of would be
it went down
lowered
by
that
like I
day.
think it was 20%.
They just
Yeah.
stopped the shooting. It was just like hold on, I gotta see
Shit, Dragon
the
Ball
end of
Z.
I gotta see the end of Gohan versus Cell.
No, it's just right
But
there going like,
like
come
they
on, man,
had
we gotta steal the ship
parade.
before the next show.
Yeah, they had a parade in his honor actually too. In there was some sort of Mexican city.
Yeah, they built a statue of Goku there too.
Yeah.
This guy.
So I'm just like, so it's like like I said, to say that he had a tremendous impact on anime and the culture is an understatement.
Yeah, the most two big cultures that feel it besides Japan are the Mexican culture and the African American culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I guess
Because like I've been seeing nothing but like people putting up altars. There was a video I saw on TikTok. I wish I could have saved it or sent y'all the link, but there was someone that literally built an altar to Akira Toriyama in their house, like a traditional
I
like a
believe it.
yeah.
this is
They have like one of those candles, like
The
the
prayer
Vestige.
candles.
Yeah, and it's the one with Goku on there, and they really go like,
oh
I never thought I would have to light this, and then like it's captioned, I never thought I had to light this, and then just lighting.
Yeah, if I get someone talks shit about Dragon Ball, it's like they just get smacked.
Yeah,
It's like, don't you dare disrespect Toriyama in this
like
household.
straight up Cell
He's a patron
smacked
saint.
like Cell sent Mr. Satan to the mountain. This is just I want to point out
Oh
here.
yeah, the death beam, but with
I want
Toriyama's
I
characters.
want to point out here. It's clear this guy was there was a lot to talk about Toriyama because it's 25 minutes into the stream. I haven't even said what the topics are tonight. Like, it's clear this guy
well, no,
did a
yeah,
lot.
well, no,
Honestly,
because you
it's
just
like,
no, because you just went on to the Akira Toriyama thing and just started asking us
yeah.
questions about it.
John Cena. I don't know what to think of this.
Yeah, I saw the image of it already.
I did too. I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
He's naked.
He went on stage naked at the Oscars, wearing only having a little sign around his dick saying costume design.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Mm-hmm. I showed the
Hold
image,
on.
but I don't think.
Wait. Huh? Let me see. Is it? Oh my god!
Mhm.
I like to think that was him in the red carpets. Oh, Johnny. Anyway, I guess I should move. I should go on there. The point is, we're gonna miss the guy. We're definitely gonna miss him.
Yeah,
We didn't really know him.
like it was a sucker punch for me, but at the same time though too, it's not level of JDF on someone who I've actually met in person
Oh yeah, definitely.
and have met him when I was a little kid and met him as an adult.
Hmm.
But yeah, freaking it was a sucker punch because I love the original Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I guess we should move on to the next thing here. So tonight we have trailers for Inside Out 2 and the Fallout series. We got news of Rooster Teeth being shut down by Warner Brothers. Gonna get more into that. And apparently we got a continuation of what we were talking about last week with the Willie's Chocolate experience, where the unknown, aka as Kuma gave them the name, what did you give him the name? It was Connor Bucktooth.
Yep.
Connor Bucktooth is getting his own movie. Jablonski, you should have been here last week. I told Kuma, like, Kuma, you do good, you can come up with good stuff. Please give this guy lore, I beg of you. And like, he just comes up with the best story.
Oh, this is adorable.
What?
So I think it's the director of Godzilla -1.
Yeah?
He showed up to the Oscars with a gold painted Godzilla and a little black boat with a little black bow tie.
Haha.
Nice.
It's adorable.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
apparently their shoes are Godzilla themed to where it's really just heels, but the heel is a claw of Godzilla.
That is awesome.
I'm like, that's badass.
Anyway, let's get to our.
Please let that win. I don't care about any of the other sections. I just want Godzilla to win this one.
Yep. If they don't, he's gonna riot. Anyway, let's go on to the first segment of the night, the trailer park. All right, welcome to the park, everybody. So we had two trailers this week. One for, let me go with the first one here. Inside Out 2. I put this on here just because it was honestly, I put this thing on here just for variety. It didn't have too much for me to look into, but I do like the idea of the new I do like the new emotions that they're putting in there. Apparently they're adding this Inside Out is centering around Riley getting 4 new emotions. It was embarrassment, envy, anxiety, and
Essentially boredom.
boredom. Yeah, ennui.
Anyway, it's supposed to be French for boredom.
Never heard of. I never actually heard that. I'm like, is that another?
I think it's Ennui.
Ennui?
Yeah,
Ennui. Nui. Yeah,
Ennui, something like that.
ennui. Yeah. So
Ennui.
I do like. So what they're trying to do is these guys are like trying to essentially. They're introduced to Riley, who's turned 13 and is going through puberty and everything like that. And of course, with puberty becomes a whole new slew of emotions. And that's what they're doing. And I can't really describe what's going on too well, but like essentially the old emotions are being put in the are being thrown out at this point, or what I'm assuming is a metaphor for being put behind her or something like that. And they're trying to get back to main control to not essentially get her back, but try and balance things out. Honestly, I think my favorite joke in there so far that they threw there was the sarcasm joke. If you don't if you didn't see it, there's a joke where they have to cross this giant chasm and it's called sarcasm. So whenever they're trying to ask these guys across the chasm for help, and whenever they shout there it echoes and the echo comes out slow and like sarcastic. So they're thinking that they're being jerks to them the entire time. Like I said, I didn't really find too much to talk about. That's pretty much the only thing there. Like I said, I only spotlight it because of the variety. I mean, what do you guys think of this concept of just these new emotions being added?
I mean, I like the idea. The idea, just like because there was already like a theory people thought of, like if they're making a sequel, of course it'll probably be new emotions and everything.
Mm-hmm. I think like so, Jablonski, what do you think?
It looks all right. I can't say I'm excited to see it, but at the same time too, I'm not mad either. I think it's something that Disney just needs to do for a little bit until they can figure themselves out
Hmm.
in a way,
I can't. Yeah, of course.
or at least get through the last of the few films
I mean, we got a lot of
that GPEC was running.
True. I mean, they got a lot of sequels coming out here. With Inside Out 2, they got Frozen 3 coming out. They got Moana 2 coming out. And I can see why they're doing it. They're just trying to like go into some of the more popular properties and trying to like regain that spark they had before. When
What do you
they
mean regain it? What do you mean regain? That it's been there. This is just cash grabs. These are just cash grabs. Like
Uh,
the
in a way,
fandom for the stuff is already there. They're just right there going like, hey, just to remind you, we still have the movies. We need more money to make more movies.
Zelensky, please tell me you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but at the same time, though, too, Kuma does have a point.
Yeah, like yes, we. It's not like we're not expecting sequels. We're just wanting good sequels. Because like again, like it's cool. Like what Inside Out is doing. Like it's cool. Like the concept again, just like new emotions, but the idea like of bottling up your old emotions is still pretty funny, but also just like
Oh, it's literally bottled up.
yeah. Like yeah, I like the joke with that.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. One thing that always confused me was like it shows the emotions in her mother. Like she has the
I
basic
don't know.
emotions.
Here's a
Yeah.
sneak peek at the next 10 years.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, how come she doesn't have like all those stuff that Riley has? Or is there like something else with that? I don't know what that was about.
Because she's an adult and we're slightly more in control of our emotions.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I can.
That's my theory on that idea. Like because it's theory that says that the reason why sadness is the operator of her mother's brain is because her mother is probably like somewhat depressed half the time,
Uh,
and anger control is like the main operator in her father's mind, and that's a theory that says like her father is like probably prone to fits of rage or something, or
oh
just
yeah,
has
like
anger issues.
I remember seeing the short where the boy is trying to go out with Riley and he's like and anger's like all over the helm because he's like really hating the fact that this guy's going after his daughter or something.
Mhm.
Um. So yeah, that's coming out early later this year. So let's talk about one that really got my interest, and that was Fallout.
They call me the Wanderer. The
There
Wanderer.
are. So,
Round, 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 round.
God, it's been a while since I
I
played.
cannot wait for that one.
It's been a while since I played any of the Fallout games, and I like the Fallout games. I like the open world maps. That's the thing I like most about the Fallout games. Gameplay's good, but the one thing I like about it most is the atmosphere. Like one of the things I the story so far has stayed by top. This is what I like about the game the most is that I'm sorry, the series is they're not directly adapting one of the games. It's all going to be an original story from like start to finish with like original characters and everything like that.
Well, you're gonna get cameos of the other of popular characters.
Oh
So
yeah, of course.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine there would be. And I think that makes sense since each of the games they take place in different locations and like periods, don't they? They
Mm, 1 and 2, I believe, take place around not that far apart. Third one takes place, I believe, 100 years
yeah,
after, and then Fallout New Vegas, I believe, takes place, I think, around the same time as the third one, or maybe a little bit after, because
same.
they make references to some of the stuff that
It's like
that if you did or didn't do in the third one.
yeah, it's like same time, different location.
Mm, kind of, but maybe like a
Yeah,
slightly more longer time. Because again, I say they make references to some of the stuff that happened in
oh
Fallout
yeah,
3
yeah.
Yeah.
in New Vegas, and then in Fallout 4, we're kind of in a new area a bit before
Yeah,
most of everything kind of goes to shit because we're only frozen for 200 years, and then in Fallout 76
eh,
we're a group of people that came out before
everything.
like everything is still like like
Halfway
somewhat
point.
habitable but also somewhat still destroyed.
It's like that midway point.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think this sums it up
if you
about
want to call it
Miyazaki.
that.
One, but yeah, we still get the familiar. What is it? I can't see that dude.
It
Yeah,
says
those words are blurred.
Miyazaki after finding out he won an Oscar.
Oh.
He just goes back to
Nice.
bed.
Yeah.
Zool, motherfucker, Zool. Anyway, but like we see the stuff you see in regular Fallout's, the blue and gold jumpsuits, the Pit Boys, the bobblehead of Boy, the that cool power armor's in there, and it looks amazing in the series. By the
Yeah,
way,
we get the
the Brotherhood
Brotherhood
of
of Iron,
Steel is in there.
Brotherhood of Steel.
But yeah, like I said, the one thing when I heard this was announced was, as I said before, the thing that I like most about Fallout is the atmosphere. I like that world, how it's just been destroyed. I like looking at the
An
background, seeing.
apocalypse?
Yeah, yeah, nuclear
Yeah,
apocalypse.
I was about to say that's pretty much it. An
Yeah,
apocalypse.
like so, like it with me and Fallout. Oh, Cruiser's here, nice. With me and Fallout, I just like I just think it's amazing. I like exploring the world and just seeing what happens. Like sometimes I look at like the backgrounds and I always think to myself, what the hell happened here? What were these people doing?
Mm. I know, yeah. I'm curious on how they'll be doing all of that, just because one of the main things people are also curious about is how they'll like balance the way of it being both serious but also comic and
Ah,
funny as well too, because that's also been like besides the whole seriousness of like a post-apocalyptic
yeah.
world, there's still like comedy to find within like the game as well too. Because like if you're roaming around, you'll like for me, and I'll say Fallout 76. I was roaming around, and then you could just open this bathroom door, and there's just like a dead cockroach with a cane and a top hat,
It's the little
and
things.
then like and then there's like some eagle eye people notice that like there are bears and gnomes in the game that will be in weird precarious positions and weird disturbing scenes. Like there's one with like a bear holding a knife, and like there's a bunch of skeletons all around it. There's like gnomes around a pentagram, like they're summoning some shit.
And it's like the little things that you see that's just funny. It's like, what the fuck happened here? What were the gnomes doing?
Yeah, because the other thing with this in the Fallout world is that like it's supposed to be a divergent from our actual world on where, dang, I forgot what it was. America depends more on fusion batteries and like and atomic shit, I believe.
Yeah,
Because like it's a whole divergence to where like they're still somewhat in the 1950s era of sorts,
yeah,
but everything is more technologically advanced.
yeah. I like worlds that do that. That's like when you look at like I
I'm
don't know.
I'm all for those kind of worlds too, but only if it's not a dangerous thing to be like, yeah, we're advanced because we're using a deadly rock that slowly will kill us if we're around it. But we managed to harness the power of it.
I like no. Like I do like stuff that stuff like those kind of things that where it takes place in the past and it's like still futuristic technology stuff you see like I don't know like BioShock or something like that.
Uh,
Kind of
no, Bioshock is more or less itself like
steampunkish.
set in its own. Well, like it's more
Bioshock
set in like
is
it's still within its own realm of its era. Besides like the futuristic stuff, that's still within its time. I would say
Oh yeah, of course.
not
That's
not like not like how we have fucking lasers and like
okay.
robots that can just hover around so easily.
The best way to
yeah, I
describe
could.
Bioshock,
That's a good
and
way to
yes,
put it.
this is going to get a tiny bit political, but it makes a point.
What?
Bioshock is if libertarianism was taken to its most extreme.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, of course.
because the idea for the person that made Bioshock, like the actual world, is that we're in the what is it?
Reactor.
International quarters, right?
Yeah, it's international waters.
Yeah. Basically, he built it there because there's no laws and no like ethical laws,
Yeah,
basically.
it's the same thing
So,
goes
so
for
that's why.
the same thing goes for
So
like
that's
the
why.
Skytown in Infinite.
No, no, with the Scott,
No,
with
that was
the,
a whole. That one's a whole
that was a
different.
whole different. That was a
Okay,
whole
okay.
different thing.
Yeah, it's a
Liberty.
whole
I
different
think
reason
it's
on why they were left. Yeah.
I
Oh,
think it's called what? Liberty.
Right
Liberty
side.
City.
Yeah, yeah. Those are more like right wing
That
influence.
was more
Yeah,
if
yeah. I think you know what.
authoritarianism was taken to
I
an
keep
extreme.
forgetting
Yeah,
that. I keep forgetting that. Honestly, I don't know why. I have to play that game again. I liked Infinite. I never got to finish it though.
It's a
I like
fun one.
Fallout 2 more.
Fallout 2.
Yeah, I like Fallout 2 more from out of this series just because it was a whole new series.
Oh, yeah,
And Bioshock, no, I think I'd probably say Bioshock 2 as well too.
Bioshock 2 is
Oh,
fun.
actually, wait,
No,
no.
I have to go with.
Out of the Fallout games, maybe New Vegas or 3, because like I kind of like those.
I think 3 is the. I think 3 and 4 are easily one of my favorites.
4 for me.
Keep in mind, I
For
didn't own the.
for
I never owned any of the games. I did play them a lot at a friend's house though.
for Fallout 4, for Bioshock, I would actually have to go with 1.
Mm.
Bioshock 1. Bioshock 1's good. I think. Honestly,
No, yeah, it was a nice introduction.
all the
It was a nice
Bioshock games are
introduction to it.
good.
Also, on Twitch, you have our cameras messed up.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you. I have it in studio mode. I forgot to take it out.
So
So I don't know, Cruiser. What do you think? Fallout. What is your favorite Fallout and Bioshock game?
I haven't played either of them.
You never played either?
Tucker.
We
Jesus,
haven't
man.
really
I'm
even
actually
talked.
kind of.
We
This is
haven't.
me being surprised, honestly.
Yeah, we haven't really even talked on this series yet either.
What? Oh, the series itself?
Yeah, we haven't
The
really
cool
talked
thing,
anything about the show.
the game that I played during those years was Fear for the PlayStation,
Mm.
or PlayStation 3, I should say.
Anyway, the series itself.
There's a quick petting your pussy on there.
Oh, but look at him, it's so cute.
The series itself is. It's kind of just basic Fallout in a way. Wait, you just cut someone after like stuff ship blows up in
Okay.
a nuclear war where like certain people are put in the vaults. Someone decides to venture out and explore the wastelands of the vault of the
In
world.
speaking of nukes, looks like Oppenheimer got its first win.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
With Robert Downey Jr. as best supporting actor.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's
What?
No, I want to see fucking.
what?
Tell me this wasn't the Godzilla category.
What?
Best international film.
Mm.
Let me see.
Yeah, like I want to talk about the plot, but it's just most of the Fallout plots are similar. Some guy just ventures out of the vault after
Oh thank God.
nuclear
Okay.
where nuclear technology advanced, like during like the end of World War II, like that midway between the World War II and like the Cold War or something like that, and just the people like the survivors stay in the bunkers in the vaults. In this case, Vault 33. They go. One person ventures out into the world, and they just have to endure the world being a vault dweller. Well, or in like
Okay,
an
well,
open pit.
everything's still all good for now.
I mean, it doesn't
Uh,
say
it was-
doesn't say why they're leaving.
No, not real. Honestly, when I was looking at the plot, I couldn't really find much about it. All it said I got close was she leaves behind the only life she's ever known to venture into the dangerously hostile savage world. They don't really have much of a motivation. It's just, as of now, it's just them
Well,
venturing out. That's all I
well,
got.
no, I'm just well, no, yeah, that's probably it. Just wanting to leave. That's probably just it.
Hmm.
I love the
Like
handyman in the trailer.
Like I know
Oh yeah,
I know when you leave the vault in the games, each character has their own different motivation. This one, she just wants to explore.
I mean, not that.
There's
Not
probably
bad,
going to be
just
more.
motivation.
I can imagine when the series comes out, there's going to be more explained about it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I don't know like how many episodes it'll be, but it looks like maybe something might happen inside the vault, like from on the trailer and everything.
oh
Like
yeah,
something might happen inside the vault.
Tends to be the cause of a lot of these games of why they leave the vault early.
Yeah.
But
Except
at the
for
same time,
76.
yeah,
76 kind
76 is
of
different.
forces you out.
yeah, you're just there. It's like here you go, have fun. You're not in the vault anymore.
Oh no. No, if it literally forces you out because story wise it says, oh yeah, don't bother staying in the vault. We're filling it with deadly toxin that can kill you. Which is why you're forced to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides the story, I am curious how they'll have like some of the factions and when specifically this takes place.
I do like the one there, the guy that's played by Walton Goggins, the guy who looks like the ghoul. That
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that makeup looks incredible.
it does. But the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
the handyman, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm just gonna harvest your organs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the ghoul makeup or anything. I'm just hoping that like we'll see other people that are like either more ghoulified as well, because
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't see a lot of that. All we just saw were like giant cockroaches, monsters. That's it. But I'm like, I want to see more ghoul.
oh no, that's still a world and everything.
Yeah,
But seeing him as like our actual ghoul character, and I'm just right here going, yeah, okay, but I kind of wish I made him more ghoulish looking than like no nose and dried flayed skin.
yeah. All we see is just a guy in a trench coat.
Yeah, I mean, like we had others who had like missing pieces, like chunks of their flesh missing or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, of course. Yeah, according to this, right now, in terms of episode numbers, there's 8 episodes that are that are listed right now. The the first one is we have the title for the first one, directed by Jonathan Nolan, and it's just called The End. Seems about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's looking really good. I'm actually excited. See what they do with this.
I thought I saw Bruce Campbell in the trailer for a moment too.
Who was he? Was he like anybody that specific or?
No, like it's just like a split second in the trailer, but I
Hmm.
don't think it's him.
Yeah,
It's like someone
he's
else.
not on the cast list. I actually don't really recognize most of the names on this, honestly. Yeah, except for Matt Berry. I think I've heard of him before from the Mighty Boosh.
But I think it's gonna be the like. I still think it'll be the a somewhat apocalyptic story as usual.
Would you?
Yeah.
Now I have heard a couple people say that this would this is a stupid thing. Which is why I'm bringing this up here. Someone said in the comment section, so this is basically Amazon Prime's The Last of Us. I'm sorry, this is to Amazon Prime what The Last of Us is to Max.
No.
No, I wouldn't
No,
agree with
I
that either. I
yeah,
wouldn't agree with that.
that's kind of dumb. Kind of try and compare
No,
those.
I mean the only thing you can really say in terms of comparison is that it's a video game adaptation to Amazon, but I can't say it's like anything other than that similar with elements.
I was gonna say if you're gonna say world, it's still apocalypses. That's
True.
about it. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose the Fallout one.
Oh yeah. Anyway, let's go on to our next to something that Jablonski brought up this week. So it was announced that Rooster Teeth is shutting down. Warner Brothers
Yeah.
is taking them down.
Yep, it's sad.
So
21
I
years.
remember watching a lot. Yeah, I remember watching a lot of Red versus Blue.
Oh, yeah.
I'm obviously been hooked on Ruby.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So, but there is a silver lining.
Hmm.
They are in talks of the IPs, some of the IPs being bought up.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like Ruby, Red versus Blue, and maybe Genlock are going to be safe.
Well, it's the three flagship franchises, so I'm not gonna be surprised if all 3
I'm
of them
not, I'm
are.
not,
Yeah,
holding,
I would
I'm not
expect
holding it. Yeah, that's why I said maybe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because Genlock's
Um,
okay, it's just, yeah, kind of lost.
It honestly, if people keep saying like, "Oh, reboot Ruby," no, reboot Genlock.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
Because the
Or
idea
please
could
just
work.
reboot the second season.
Yeah, just reboot the second season.
Like, honestly, I'm gonna be
First season's
I'm
great.
gonna be completely honest. When I was writing the script for this, I completely forgot Genlock was a thing.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Did,
I can
did
see.
oh, sorry.
What'd you say?
I can see Ruby getting gobbled up by Crunchyroll.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
definitely.
But was there ever a series finale for Red versus Blue?
Funny enough,
They've had several.
the last
That's
season,
basically what
it's
Kuma said.
So I think it's season 11 is technically supposed to be the last season.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kuma's got the right idea.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, because I follow them as much as you did. I just didn't really follow Red versus Blue specifically, but I had friends who would always talk about it and everything. I'm right here going, so when's it gonna end?
Yeah, Red versus Blue became like the Power Rangers of Rooster Teeth, where just they thought it was gonna end here, but no, they just went on. It's like what? In terms of
No,
ending a show, I mean.
I guess I don't know.
Not really.
Because my brother used to buy the DVDs, and I think he got up to like season 7 before he stopped. And even I was kind of like, okay, like how much longer is this really gonna go on for?
There's only so long we
Like,
can watch
I
a bunch of
love
guys play
Caboose
Halo.
and Sarge. Yeah, as much as I love Caboose and Sarge, it's like, come on, guys, the story has to end at some point.
But
I like the earlier
those two aren't in
seasons.
that much.
Yeah, the early
Yeah, I
seasons,
know.
like seasons 1 through I only got to see seasons 1 through 3, and like I kind of quit off there. I'm like, I don't know if I can watch the rest of this. I love it, but I just can't. Yeah, but it did open. But the thing I respect Rooster Teeth for the most is it was one of the first companies that pioneered like digital content being like recognized and like on like YouTube and everything like that. And I can't. So the influence is crazy. But my question is like, what's gonna happen at Death Battle?
Well, Death Battle was
Okay,
already
so-
kind of its thing before Rooster Teeth bought it.
No, it was still okay. So how it went was Death
No,
Battle
yeah,
was
there was Screw Attack.
yeah, there was Screw Attack. Screw Attack got gobbled up by
Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth. With Rooster Teeth gone, word is going around of one of three possibilities.
Reboot of
Worst case scenario, it's not coming back.
Mhm.
Best case scenario is
Screw-
that they go indie.
No, yeah, I think
It was.
that's probably the most.
That's why I can see it. But however, there is a second to worst option, and this is more around the person that is behind this.
Verve. I'm just
The
kidding.
original person that owned Screw Attack.
Chad, or
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants to buy it and Screw Attack back.
Oh,
However,
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Stuttering Craig. Is that who you're referring to?
I think so.
Craig or Chad, one of them.
I think it's Silent Craig.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
one of them's kind of in one of them's kind of in a bit of a controversial bit. I don't know the entire story, but apparently he's hanging around with not really great people.
Mm.
So I'm hoping they go indie
I really do hope so too.
because they have a great possibility of going indie.
It's probably a good bet because when Screw Attack made Death Battle and when it got much more popular throughout its run, every single screw attack video. Every single screw attack video was like, "Oh, can you make a death battle about these guys and this guy?" I'm like, "We're not even talking about this. Isn't even a death battle video. Come on, guys." It's like, what?
One of my fucking favorite quotes from Red versus Blue. No, actually, there's like my 3 favorite quotes from Red versus Blue. We've been tricked, we've been backstabbed, and we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
I was about to say.
One of the other one is one of the other ones is no, yeah, 2 of them are from Caboose. It's like one of them was my name is Michael J. Caboose and I eat babies.
Eight babies.
Yeah, I eat babies. And the other one is in my defense, someone put a wall there.
I'm from Iowa. Nobody cares.
I
I don't know why. That's the one line that stuck out to me when they're talking to Lopez.
One of my favorites came from Sarge, where he called this vehicle the Warthog, and he's more like, well, why not call it something else? Like, you see these 2 tow hooks? They look like tusks. Now, what other animal has tusks? A
Rhino.
walrus.
Rhino.
Didn't you just say stop making up animals?
Oh, so okay, I'm happy with
In
this.
Sarge's defense, when I heard that, I'm like, the walrus isn't a fucking. Never mind.
Godzilla -1 won best visual effects.
All right.
So I'm happy.
Yes.
Yeah, like I have to rewatch Red versus Blue. It's been a long time. I mean, it's kind of weird because you go back to the original ones and like the quality's like really low, and it's like, come on, I can only watch a bunch of people.
Best film editing, Oppenheimer.
Yes, I can stand behind that with editing. I think the visual effects in Oppenheimer were really good.
Let's see. Best production design, Poor Things.
If they do take their shows and become more independent, I feel like they could kind of build back up with some of their fans that are like also Patreon people as well too, because Death Battle has a Patreon that people already support it and shit like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing them go independent, but it's also a thing if like they're just gonna stick with Death Battle or just build up Screw Attack again, because I could also see that as well too.
Yeah.
Maybe as a different name.
With Ruby. Okay, so
Ruby's gonna be
Ruby's
fine.
a bit more complicated.
Yeah, Ruby again. If they go independent again, I could kind of see that working out.
Okay, there is actually a bit more. There's actually a bit more for it with Ruby because there they said they were in talks. One of the people that has worked on like the first 3 volumes.
Carrie.
No,
Miles.
it was like something Goo. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's gotten a lot of backup from some pretty big indie studios.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like the main people that worked on it and creators are Miles, Luna, Carrie Shawcross, and Monty Ohm, but Monty's passed.
Yeah. See if I can find his.
Because again, like I said, like if they go independent, I could see them being slightly okay with that for however long until they build up more. If they give it to a network or just like
a lot of people. So Dylan Goo. He said his tweet was who should I talk to? Much of our team worked on the original volumes and collaborated directly with Monty. We'd be honored to bring the series back and carry the torch. Like Dylan Goo has a lot of backup from like Glitch Productions, a whole bunch of
the guys
few other
the guys made Digital
Circus.
Yeah.
A bunch of indie studios backed him up, saying like, yes, he would be a good fit. Some are saying Crunchyroll, which I can also see.
Crunchyroll's a good bet.
And someone also suggested 824, who helped produce Hazbin Hotel. The way that I see it, though, I think it's going to be and this is why I kind of hope Dylan gets the rights to the show. He works with A24 to produce and Crunchyroll to distribute.
Well, yeah, but it's still a whole thing of like if he can buy it.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing too.
Yeah,
So they
it's not
can-
just like people supporting, being like, "Oh yeah, give it to him, give it to him." Because I seen the tweet as well too. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, people are like, if anyone can capture the old moments of it's him and everything. But like, I could stand behind that. But again, it's just like they're not just gonna be like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And again, Ruby helped launch Rooster Teeth more in its more later years as well
Yeah, I
too.
like to
Like
think it
whenever I
brought
was
in like a
starting.
new generation of audience at
Mhm.
the time.
Like
Like
Red versus Blue was nice, but yeah, like all their other stuff is just great
it's like
to
Red
bring
versus
into
Blue.
one go.
That was our generation. Now we got Ruby for like the newer generation of anime fans or whatever.
So I enjoy Ruby. It's one of my favorites. Do I think it's and I'm like the oh my god, it's emerging and
Oh my God.
it's a fun show with really cool action scenes,
Yeah.
Good animation.
and that's really it.
Yeah, that's pretty much my
And
reaction to the
that's
show. Like I tried watching like a first season. I'm like,
I
it's fine.
well, I like the character development as well too
Same.
with all of them, like in the character designs and their origins as well
Oh,
too,
same.
because each of them are based off of a story or like some folktale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this is kind of how I. This is just I get personal opinion.
Hmm?
1 through 3 is great.
Yeah.
You watch that all the way through. The 4 through I want to say
6.
7, 6, 7, depending. It's kind of where it was. It's kind of it's a slow crawl slog. Not
Well,
the best.
to me, I'll give you on that just because like I think that's where they're trying to get more serious. That's why
Yeah,
than to how we're like, because they're still kids. They're in school. They're trying to learn about who they are and how
yeah,
they'll be and shit like that. So when the other seasons came on, like to 4, and that's just them like, oh yeah, we know that these types of people are around. People that can do this, people who do that. There are evil people. There are some who pretend to be your friends. Blah blah blah. Like all that kind of spiel.
yeah.
Basically, like 1 through 4 is just them kind of growing up, and then 5 through 7 or 6 is just, or 5 through 7 is them just kind of getting their way of like, hey, you're in the real world now. Grow up.
Oh
Like,
my god. I just
Yeah,
remembered
and
something.
it just kind of felt like I get where people were kind of
yeah.
complaining about it because it was huge. It was like a 180 tonal change, but at the same time, though, too, it was kind of necessary. Though I think the one thing that was really grinding down, and it was pretty much fixed in Volume 9. There was one person out of that whole team that refused to grow up until she was actually faced with it. Ruby.
Well, yeah.
Volume.
She's only 16.
I'm trying to think. I thought she was a little bit older by the
No,
time that.
when
Uh,
she's first joining the school, she's 15, and Yang, I believe, is 16, because
Yeah.
that was also Yang's first year
The
at
cookies
Beacon.
bathroom before we do Hooked on Harmonics.
What was the name of the software they made that show on?
I don't know.
Essentially,
uh,
I'm asking because when Ruby came out, there were a lot of like much like Red versus Blue, there were like a lot of like fan made projects with their own story with the same animation.
Mhm.
And I think I voiced in one of those actually at one point.
so so by the time Volume 9 is around,
Let
Ruby's
me look
actually
that up.
17.
Let me look that up. I want to know
Okay.
what that name of that series was.
But my point kind of is that they kind of dragged her on with the trauma and all that for far too long than it should have, because all the crap happened in a lot of the crap happened in Volume 3,
What was the name of that show I was in?
because that's when Penny got killed the first time around,
Mhm.
and that's when Kira died, and she's been carrying that through essentially up until volume 9 when everything came ahead.
And if you're in from the age that you just said, so she's kind of carrying that. She's had that built up for 3 years. Then,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't like mind because I know it's a big deal on you, but to me that's character development and growth because like
It is, but at the same time, though, too, there comes to a point where it's like, okay, this needs to be dealt with before it gets way out of hand, and it kind of did.
no, yeah, that's what they were leading up to because like
Yeah.
it's not her trying to like again like of how they had to go to the other world and all like that. That's her finally realizing that like she is a hero, but not like a hero that she thinks
Right.
that she needs to be.
Yeah, it's with
Because
with
like she's
Volume 9, it was
comparing herself to
essentially
all the other heroes and
it
shit
was
like that.
yeah, Volume 9 was essentially her story of grow the fuck up.
Yeah, because like she never like fully had to deal or like had to come to terms on how her mom died or anything. Like
It turns
most
out
of
she
everyone. Yeah, yeah. So that just imagine that you went like your whole life thinking your mom's been dead for who knows how long.
yeah, just to find out she's alive.
She's just been somewhere.
But yeah, I think now that she's gone through her final stage of character development for the time being, if we do end up getting a volume 10, it'll probably go a lot smoother.
No, yeah, I could see them doing maybe like a more mature Ruby as well too. Like
Yeah.
because like
Uh,
if this is her like coming to terms of being older, like having to
it's like
be with her and all.
the world isn't as idealistic as you want it to be.
Yeah,
And
because
I think
that was her whole idea of like just being a hero and saving people.
yeah, and the song "The Edge" I think also kind of plays into it too, and how it in with how it ends.
Mm.
When the song is like, it's like I I have to get what the lyrics because it's actually important to her character. Lyrics. Do, 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 do.
Anyway, we'll see where it goes with Rooster Teeth.
It's clear that I'm everything and
Okay.
nothing all at once.
Okay, we're still going.
Well, you
She,
didn't tell us to stop. Like you
yeah,
can tell us to stop.
I
It's your
want
damn
to, but I
show.
just think this is adorable.
Well,
wait.
then don't say. Well, then don't say any other shit about. Well, like, well, you know, I guess we can move on.
Well, let's wait for Cruiser to get back. The moment Cruiser comes back,
yeah.
then we go
Let's
there.
wait until Cruiser comes back. But yeah, the lyric, it's clear I'm everything and nothing all at once.
Cruiser's back. He's a cat now.
kind
Cruiser.
of plays into her.
Psst, psst.
Kind of plays into her head, into her how she's thinking too.
Skeeter. Is he eating the keyboard?
Skeeter.
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 Skeeter. Skeeter. Try and get Skeeter's attention. Hey, hey, Skeeter. 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 Jablonski, help me out here.
Skeeter.
Skeeter. Skeeter. Skeeter. No, Skeeter, we're over here. Don't look over there. A little bit more. No, go back. No, okay, there you go. Yeah, Skeeter, look at us. Look at us. Can you move a little bit to your right? No, that's your left. Skeeter. Skeeter. Skeeter's looking at us like, no, absolutely
Fuck
not.
you.
I can't deal with this shit. Cruiser, you need to train your cat to be more camera friendly, be less camera shy.
I make camp, okay, and I scream at the moon. You scream at the moon. The moon deserves it. Okay, roll intimidation. 4. The moon is unfazed. You win this round. I go to sleep. Player wakes up in the domain of Moon Goddess. I heard you was talking shit. Fucking, there was another one that I saw earlier today. It was it was the party fucking around with the vampire BB. Oh, here it is. My group just trolled a vampire bad guy so much. We discovered his coffin, and sure enough, he was asleep. Our bard wrote "shit weasel" on the vampire's face with magical permanent ink. Now, whenever we encounter him, he's always wondering why we're snickering at him and trying to hold in laughter. Ever since I first came upon your miserable little band of man people, keep laughing at me. Why? Why is that? It's gotten to the point where he's literally killing his own subordinates just for snickering at him a little bit. We simply don't have the heart to tell him.
Okay, Cruiser's back. We'll be right back with Hooked on Our Monks, everybody. Cruiser, you look bald.
Bald!
Oh, my brother
Bald,
Chris
bald,
again.
bald, bald, bald.
What's going on, nation? This is the Concert Cruiser, and today for Hooked on Hermox, we're going to be looking at the triumphant return of Dope. Yes, this is their first album in I think like maybe 5-6 years. The Peter, back away. That was my kitty. This is their first album like 5 or 6 years. It's called Blood Money Part 0. Now, why Part 0? Their previous album was Blood Money Part 1, and this is basically a prequel of some ideas that they didn't that are like some unfinished demos and song ideas that they worked on to make this album. Now, to describe their sound, they're basically like an urban Marilyn Manson, a similar sound, but rather than being focused on God, Jesus, faith, and that kind of shock value, they went for more of an urban look, which I appreciate because I was not really big into the whole, anti-God or devil imagery. I mean, with very few exceptions. So this I actually prefer. And also the album artwork looks very good. I had to censor that. And the vinyl
Whoops, the sticky note fell.
and the vinyl, just like how Evan liked my previous one, is a red transparent disc.
It's
I
so
like that.
electric. I like transparency.
Yes. Everyone should be
Yeah.
transparent with people. And if I could recommend one song for people to kind of get their first taste of dope, legally, I would add, I would Jablonski knows. I would suggest you start with the song Dead World because you get that raw rock edge along with that electronica elements in there. It's the perfect right balance for it. And the other cool thing that the singer did for this album is that he actually gave digital copies away for free. Yes, you can actually go onto their website and you can get this album digitally for free right now. Because it's been so long and he felt since there was any activity with his band, because he was working a corporate gig, he was working a side project, he felt it was worth to actually give fans something that they wanted for so long. And if you actually spring for the vinyl, you can actually get a signed insert. Although I just wish they would just sign sign the sleeve because I'm not gonna play a record. But anyway, so definitely check this out. Dope Blood Money Part 0. Start with the song Dead World, and you'll see what this is all about. And there's even a cover of Love Song originally by The Cure. I still prefer the 311 version though. This is the Concert Cruiser signing off.
Cruiser, are you familiar with the heavy metal band? I can't pronounce. Apologize if I pronounce this wrong here. Katama.
I'm afraid not.
I was gonna say because one of my favorite electro bands, Underworld, just released a new song that I still gotta listen to called Fen Violet, and they partnered up with a heavy metal group called Katama.
Well, I'm kind of curious to get your opinion on this dude's side project, Drama Club, because it's more of an EDM thing.
Oh wait, never mind. It's not. I'm thinking of. It's not the right one. I'm thinking this is an electronic dance cute. I gotta listen to more of Evan Campbell's work. I guess we gotta listen to more Rez. All right, so last week Jablonski wasn't here, but we were touching on Willie's chocolate experience.
Giggity.
We were talking about, yeah, pretty much. I wanted another. So like we were. Everybody knows what happened. Everybody saw what happened, and everybody is memeing the shit out of it. But one character seemed to be getting the most popularity was a girl named Felicia who played the Unknown. Now, we learned that the Unknown is getting their own horror movie now. And I don't even know what else to say about it. I mean, like, what more do you just say? Are we gonna I heard Felicia is on board to play the character. 'Cause why not? I wanted to know, considering Kuma came up with the official lore of this character, which, since Jablonski wasn't here, can you talk about the lore of this character again for us, Kuma?
Well, we need to tell Jablonski their lore that they wrote for the Unknown.
Yeah, just go ahead. Just tell him the lore of the Unknown.
Yeah, so Jablonski, you know the whole thing that like with Willy's that they
Yeah.
most of the shit is like
AI.
AI written
Yeah.
and everything. So for the Unknown, which was just a girl wearing sorry, a girl wearing just one of those freaking
Silver mask.
Halloween black cloaks and silver mask.
Looks like a dollar store Death Eater.
Pretty much, yeah. And all she was in charge to do was basically scare kids or just look terrifying to kids. That's literally all she had to do. For her introduction, it literally just says, "There is a man. We do not know his name. He used to be a engineer or a worker in the factory."
No, he was a rival chocolate maker.
No. He was just some guy that worked there or something like that, because it just says that he lives in the walls of Wonka. We do not know his name. We call him the Unknown. That's literally all they have for him, is that like he lives in the wall and that he hunts Wonka or does whatever to Wonka. There's no specifics on what he actually does, just that he lives in the walls at the factory and that he goes by the Unknown, or that's what they call him. I went ahead and thought, he needs an actual origin, an actual name. Like, he could be the fucking Phantom of the Chocolate Factory idea. So I go ahead and just make up a whole story on the character on the fly. And I give you Connor Bucktooth. He was one of the several human workers to ever be hired by Wonka. But you know how Wonka is just this extravagant inventor of sorts, right?
Yeah.
One of his experiments goes haywire and ends up in a big explosion, causing Connor to be impaled or hit through the walls of the factory, where his body and remains still are there to this day. And Wonka, instead of doing the human thing of, oh, get the ambulance, get this man, like, we need to take care of all this. No, what does he do? He closes his factory, fires everyone, and says, we're going to redecorate, which means I'm going to clean all this up and change everything about it. We cut to the future. This is when Willy Wonka has Oompa Loompas now. But every now and then, there's a rumor going around that when Oompa Loompas go through a certain corridor or through a certain hallway, they suddenly vanish. This leads into a whole Wonka investigation.
I don't remember that part of the story.
Oh no! I've been making up more shit
Go
as it's gone on.
Be my guest.
No, yeah,
I've
been making up more shit to it just because I made it into a whole Wonka horror story now. It's a whole thing now that Wonka has to hire investigators of sorts, actual human investigators, and one of those investigators just happens to be one of the old workers that used to work for him.
Charlie's grandpa.
I still like his
Uh,
origin story.
no, this is before Charlie. This is before Charlie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is before Charlie. So yeah, grandpa, and all them old shits, they can stay on that fucking bed. But yeah, the idea is just that one of the investigators is an old employee of Wonka who was there when the explosion happened. So as the whole crime investigation, or as the whole investigation is going around the factory, we're just seeing little bits of like, oh, this Oompa Loompa died from an explosion. Like basically, they all died from explosions of some sorts. That results in them being blasted through something as a like, hey, yeah, remember I was killed and blasted through the walls.
Yeah.
This leads into them all trying to like look around the factory while this factory op phantom is just going around. This is when the Oompa Loompas start to be like, yeah, we don't know who this being is. We think it's a ghost. That just comes from the unknown. So we just start to call him the unknown.
I made an addition there saying like the guy that in the movie when Charlie's like looking at the factory and there's just this guy with all these butcher knives on the cart that just shows up. I submitted to saying like that's the guy who whenever someone tries to sneak into the factory, that guy just comes out and throwing a different knife at him and just grinds him into chocolate.
Nice to meet you.
There you go. I actually told this to my buddy Craig at work, and he's like, dude, when did Willy Wonka's chocolate factory suddenly turn to Aperture Science? Is this like the Rat Man of Wonka's factory?
I remember there was actually this special that aired years ago where they took the original Wonka kids, all 5 of them, and took them back to where they filmed overseas, and just kind of say, how much, everything has changed, from the sets, obviously, and you can actually find it up. It's up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And I feel a little bad for the actor who played Augustus Gloop, because not only was he the first one to go, but he didn't get to spend as much time with Gene Wilder as everyone else.
Oh yeah.
And not to mention he could barely speak English. And like at one point he had to say the word fudge. Well, he's German, and in their language there is no j sound.
It's like fudge.
So yeah, they would say fudge. So he actually had to learn how to pronounce fudge, despite that sound not being in their language.
What? That doesn't even make any sense because the character himself is German. I mean, the kid himself, the kid was German, right? Not the
Yes.
actual actor. Well, so was the kid in the movie. It would have made more sense if he said fudge.
Probably. I mean, but
Well, I think in the movie he was German American.
Let me see.
American that interviewed him for the movie. Like it was a scene in the movie.
Let me see where Augustus Gloop was from. Anyway, go on, Cruiser.
I was trying to look up like where specifically is Wonka's meant to be, like where it's supposed to take place. Like, does it take place like in London, Paris, or something like that?
That's a good question.
No, it actually is supposed to take place in a whimsical city that resembles a cross between London, Paris, and Prague.
Okay, I can get into that. The one thing
So
I
it's
will
meant to be like just a 3-city city.
The only thing I know about the city is that when they chose the place, they had to look around for some place that would look kind of timeless.
No, yeah. I'm looking at the pictures of it.
I still thought it was really cool getting a chance to meet those guys, especially Peter Ostrom, the guy who played Charlie Bucket, just because the fact that was his first and only movie by choice. This guy actually had the balls to walk away from Hollywood. Like, damn, man, because he was offered a 3-picture deal. Like he was set to become a child star, and he just said, "No, thanks, I'm good."
Augustus Gloop hails from the fictional town of Dusselheim, West Germany. And in the in the 1971 film. In the 2005 film, he's from Dusseldorf, Germany.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of
Okay,
funny
so
because like him and Wilder. What was the name of the guy who plays Charlie again? What was his name?
Peter Ostrom.
Peter Rostrum. Him and Wilder were really good friends on set. So
hmm
when it came to the scene where Wonka is scolding him, he didn't know that he was going to yell at him, and Wilder wanted to warn him, but the director said, "No, don't tell him. I want to see his reaction." So that close up of Charlie reacting to Wilder is actually authentic. He didn't know he was going to start yelling at him.
Yeah, you have to wonder how that affects him. Because like you said, he wasn't aware that he was gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then once the guy says cut, he goes like, "Okay, I am so sorry I had to do that."
Yeah, they do the
It's like,
same.
thank God. Like, I hope you didn't need a take two.
That's actually funny
Oh,
because
that
there
was
was a
the
no. Go on, Kim.
that was
Sorry.
the same thing with damn, who's the guy that played in Harry Potter the Malfoy and his father?
Oh, friggin' Jason Isaacs and what's his name? I always forget.
Tom? I want to say Tom.
Tom Felton.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's he did an interview where they talk about there's a scene where Malfoy is looking at a book or touching a book or something like that, and his father comes in and like strikes him with his cane, and he didn't know that he actually did hit him. Like he actually like hit him because the cane itself is is of a snake with
Mhm.
like biting out, like
Oh,
protruding its fangs. So he didn't know that he actually got him. So when he looked at, there's like a small cut. But like during the scene, as he's acting all serious, Tom said that like he was a little hurt and like trying to hold back tears, I
oh,
think,
poor
or
Tom.
something. So after they were done filming, he was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Tom." Like oh my god, like very like such a caring man. Like he goes from like this very stern
Yeah.
father figure to this very caring dad.
It's funny because like I actually learned. I was telling Jablonski I was watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang recently, and the guy who plays the child catcher, I was watching a behind the scenes thing, and everybody said he was one of the nicest guys ever. He loved children very much. Like when the director was swearing, he walked up and said, "Yo, stop swearing in front of the children. I'm walking off set."
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy was he was a ballet dancer. And he was like one of the
Oh,
nicest
actually,
people.
that's standard. Wow, that's cool.
Like he looked at him, he's
So
like, "Yeah, stop cussing, or I'm walking."
Bravo.
Fuck the
going back to the Gene Wilder thing a bit, there was something I saw earlier today.
yeah
It was before we got on stream.
yeah.
It's a picture of Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka with a gun saying, "You lose. Good day, sir."
Actually, there was another authentic scene. The scene where there's actually a bunch there. Like the scene where the kids are in the chocolate room. The shot of them going in and seeing the reactions. They didn't see the chocolate room before going into that room.
I think the actress who played Veruca Salt may have snuck a
Oh
peek,
yeah,
but
that's
she
right.
was
She did. But she said, I think she did because that's what Veruca would do. One
she's
other,
not wrong.
but one other thing that was really cool was the scene when Wilder is walking out with the limp. He planned that with the director's like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk out here with a limp. And the director's like, why? He's he's like, just film the crowd. So when he's walking out there, the scene where it shows them like rising from their seats looking at him, they actually thought something was wrong with Wilder. Because that was like the
Yeah, I
first time
remember
they
him
saw
saying
him.
that because he didn't want from then on in, you didn't know if this guy was being serious or if he was being jokey, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, like like Wilder had a lot of says in the thing. Like he said, like he dictated Wonka's costumes needs to have this many buttons. The hat has to be this certain height, and this specific shade of purple. And the director's like, if we don't do this, are you gonna not do this role? And he's like, I'm afraid that's the case. So they
Yeah, it's amazing that movie came out to lukewarm reviews too. It wasn't until like years ago people started calling it a classic.
oh yeah, because of reruns and like stuff like that. What's actually more interesting, Cruiser, you might not know this, in a book that was about the making of it, people were planning to sabotage that movie.
What for?
I think I can't remember the exact details, but like it was the area they were in. They didn't want their movie being like shown. They didn't want their town being in a movie or something like that. So there were like plans rumors going around saying, okay, we're gonna find the filming location, we're all just gonna run in there and interrupt the filming. But apparently, no attack happened.
Thank
There's no
God.
real stuff on it, but I think it was because of the locals didn't want them in their place or anything like that.
Well, I think it's because tourism and everything like
Oh
that
yeah, of
later on,
course.
because
Yeah.
of how people would be like, "Oh, hey, let's go visit that place in the movie."
Yeah, it's kind of like when you look at like the theme of Tetris. One of the guy who made Tetris, the Tetris theme is like do 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 that
Yeah,
the
but
type A.
I see the thing, but not that this isn't the right connection.
Well,
I
with
would
it,
say it's more similar to when people wanted to go to the staircase the staircase in New York or wherever the Joker movie
yeah,
did the dancing and shit like that.
yeah, they just want to go there for that one specific reason, or it's like
Yeah,
known
just
for
to
that
be
one
like,
specific
hey,
reason.
yeah. And there were actually people that were there waiting to mug people that were there.
Of course there were. I was gonna make the thing to Tetris was because like the Tetris song is based on a real like Russian like orchestrated piece, and the creator says, I really wish I didn't use that song because now whenever everybody hears like these like famous like Russian like songs that all they can hear is like Tetris, Tetris. He's like, that's not
No, yeah, I get what you meant, but like there
okay.
was no connection to what we were saying.
Okay, yeah. But like yeah, like there's a lot to look into that movie. It's a good movie. I gotta watch it again. Heck, and hell, they made a good prequel, so yeah.
It's kind of a shame that the remake didn't work out because honestly, it just seems like everything was in motion for it to be a hit.
Well, yeah. My problem with the remake is Depp was okay. I just didn't like. There were some moments where the movie was like banking on the fact that you saw the first one. Like, you see the everlasting. It's like, what are these everlasting gobstoppers? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know that from the first movie. Or like
I just
friggin'
don't get Depp's performance. Like, what was he going for with this?
yeah. There's
I
also
mean, with Wilder, he was definitely subtle. Like the whole thing with the somersault, like yeah, I got that. But with Depp, it's like he's trying to be, in some ways, a kid-friendly version of the Joker.
explain.
It's the best. I couldn't really think of anything else, but just basically how he seems kind of jokey, but uh, it's a bit too far.
I will say, like, while both versions like derive from the book, I have read the book. They both derive from the book. I will say the Charlie one is closer. That's the best way to describe it because the book's mainly on Charlie, and the other one was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The movie is more or less centered around Wonka and less Charlie. Like I often forgot Charlie was even in the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that Charlie's there.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason why the first film was called Willy Wonka was just so they can promote the candy brand.
Yeah, it was like the thing there. But like I think I can agree though that the two best things of the remake were Deep Roy as the Oompa Loompas. I mean, you can't go wrong with Deep Roy, and pretty much Christopher Lee, which is unanimous. I think my favorite scene with him is when he's going through his candy. It just shows a close up of his face. He holds up one of the candy and he just looks dead deep in the camera. Lollipops.
No,
Just says
I
uh,
have yet to see the new. I have yet to see the new Walker movie, so I have a feeling it's going to be a very interesting.
oh,
What
Christopher Lee, man.
now what did I oh, okay. Here's something that I watched recently. Steve-O from Jackass did a multimedia comedy tour called The Bucket List Tour. And the stuff that he did was like, to say too hot for TV would be an understatement. Like the stuff he did in this, uh, people were passing out in the audience. Uh, like, here's what he did. Basically, the way the show was set up is that he would tell this bit about an idea he had. Then he would show you the idea coming to life. And the very first thing he showed was something called dick painting,
Of course it
where
was.
where he had his fiance paint like bicycle shorts on, like exercise shorts, and then go out in public and do exercise with his dick flopping out.
Yep.
It, yeah, like he's playing like he's playing basketball with some people, and his dick is just in the breeze. People are pointing it out, and then it went from that to something so gross. He basically took,
They did a Jackass bit similar to that too.
yeah, like he took a shit on a giant blade just to see the shit go everywhere, and then during the credit scroll, he licked the blade.
I mean, if no one hasn't really seen any of the stuff that he's done already, it's like I don't like some of the shit that Steve
Yes,
does.
but I've never seen
Steve-O?
shit go
Yeah.
in his
I
mouth.
mean, all the shit he does is kind of fucking ridiculous and
Yeah.
out of pocket.
Yeah, and doesn't it always involve shit?
It either
It
involves
involves shit.
shit
I
or
just remember
something up someone's ass.
Yeah.
Like
just never
rocket
seen it.
summoning in someone in the ass, kicking someone in the ass, shooting someone in the ass. It has to do with ass or like shit.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Well, the one thing he did.
Thank you, Kuma's
that-
roommate. I appreciate that contribution.
Or another one he did is where he got a vasectomy and then immediately, we're not talking like a few days later, we're talking like as soon as the operation was over, he went horseback riding.
Oh no.
I don't know if
I
that's
felt the
disturbing.
chill
I
go
think that's
down
just
my
badass that he
spine
fights through
for
that pain, man.
No, that is just pure stupidity, dude. That is not because. Do you know the procedure on getting a vasectomy?
They showed it.
Yeah,
Or he did.
yeah, and then voluntarily doing that. No, dude. Yeah, that's
I
like
mean,
that
it's
can
gonna be
cause
painful. Don't get me wrong.
no, not just painful. Like, dude, you could cause severe damage because it involves cutting several tubes, or at least one, I believe,
Okay, so
and making sure that like you don't involve doing anything down there whatsoever.
Cruiser, in a risk of opening up a long conversation that'll last like half the night, we're just gonna have to. I want you to try your hardest to simplify this one. Between him and Tom Green, who would, who is the is better in terms of stuff like that, that weird, disgusting shit.
Okay, for just being flat out gross, I'd have to go with Steve-O.
Oh,
For some-
really?
Yeah. Now, if we're talking like just chuckles or just actual humor in general,
Yeah, I
Tom
was
Green.
gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say Tom Green. Is more like ha ha kind of gross.
I don't know. Half of his comedy was more mouth related, but
My bum
Dude,
is
did you
unreal.
ever
My bum
watch
is
Freddy Got
unreal.
Fingered?
what'd you say?
Did you ever watch Freddy Got Fingered?
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh,
I'm a
dear.
farmer. I'm a farmer. I think my favorite part's the one in the.
And like
I think my favorite one's the one in the scene where they're in the shower. I'm
No,
protecting
and for
its
the
treasure.
only thing I know, the only thing I know Tom Green from is the Bum Bum song.
I liked him.
Oh my
I liked him
God.
in Euro Trip or not Euro Trip. Road Trip.
Oh my God. I remember
Other
Bruce.
than that, it wasn't until Big Brother that it was your Big Brother or Survivor.
Oh my God. I remember bringing him up to Bruce and he said he really hates the fact that is glad that he's banned from Japan.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
dear, I remember that. I don't know
Okay,
if you
like
ever
that
got
was the
banned.
one when I heard what he did, I'm like, okay, dude, there's going too far and then there's that. Come on, man.
So,
All he did was put a dildo in with the sushi.
No, it wasn't that. It was how he like broke into like that endangered species pen dressed as Godzilla and like freaking.
No, that he didn't do that. It was a train. It was like a model set up, and then he just kind of walked in as God in a child's Godzilla costume.
I think
He
like
didn't break into any pen.
I thought it was like what did he
so
hold on.
Oppenheimer got cinematography.
Good.
Nice.
But going back to Steve-O, he ended the special doing a skit called Skyjacking, where he would jerk off while skydiving. But here's the thing, though. Like, he had to time it just so he's about to come, and he goes flying out the airplane. Tandem, I might add.
What is Tom
It's like,
Green doing?
I know. I think he's doing a podcast.
I'm
I
last
think he
thing
does.
like the last weird thing I ever saw him do was he was standing in the middle of a street corner just eating a head of lettuce.
I know he, at least the last thing I saw him do, this was years ago, he was in the Trailer Park Boys movie,
No kidding.
SwearNet. Yeah.
Oh my God. Does he still skateboard?
I think so.
I completely forgot that he did that. I remember this one trick he did where he jumps off a fire hydrant, spins the board around his hand, and then lands it.
Oh yeah, he's
He used to
real
be a host on MTV.
yeah, he's
Like,
a
he
real
was-
good skateboarder, I'll say that. Like I saw him do a coffee run with Deadmau5 one time. Like he's a real chill dude.
Jinx and Sue.
I think I remember seeing him skateboard on it as well too, like on as he was doing hosting, because he was like he would go up to random people and just talk about shit, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was the stuff I've seen him when he comes to skateboarding, he's really good at that stuff. Like he's a good musician, he has some good songs behind him. I mean, aside the obvious ones, but like yeah. Like he's a decent
Chris
piano.
Mel is a good sport about it. With they got his reaction to Spider-Verse losing to the Boy and the Heron.
Oh,
And he was like, "Well, if you're gonna lose, might as well lose to the goat."
yeah.
I love that
Oh my God.
that enthusiasm. I would rather it's like getting punched in the
It's
face by
the
Rocky
Grammys,
Balboa.
right?
Yeah.
It's the Grammys, right?
No, it's Oscars.
Oscars.
And it's Oscars night.
Okay. How important are the Oscars again? Like, what are the top awards
No,
for those? I know it's an Emmy. No, that's
Oscars like the top one.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember like which ones are like top.
Yeah. I was telling him like I don't want to get into that argument, but like yeah, Oppenheimer, I'm really hoping wins Best Picture.
Did Barbie win anything?
I think
Not yet. They haven't shown anything yet.
Has been nominated.
Give it.
score was nominated, I know that. I think also costume.
I think it's kind of funny that Ken got nominated, but Barbie didn't.
Ah,
I mean, it was obvious why, but
I'm just Ken, whereas he loves you.
Funny
you
enough
can't
that
deny he had a very
actually is performing that.
fantastic performance, so yeah.
Yes, for
This
I
is what
feel Kenner.
Like I always look at the Oscars and I don't see it as much an award show, but I like to see it as like a celebration of movies, honestly, altogether. Just anything that came out that year. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but that's just me. I mean, I went to film school. That was just something I learned. It was to like celebrate like the classics, some of the new ideas, the experimenting. That's just me as an artist, honestly.
well,
That's what I
duh, they're not going to be right there going, yeah, you got to slave several years to do this shit
like.
till you get noticed.
Oh yeah. Like I remember,
there has been
like one of my
anything.
buddies, his name was what was his name? I can't remember his last name. He went by the first name Alfredo. He's Portuguese. He actually went to a couple of Oscar. He was actually invited to a couple of Oscar shows, and I actually asked him the question like I thought you weren't a big fan. Like, well, if I got invited, I'm gonna go, obviously. But like I was saying to him like the thing about the Oscars is everybody like kind of complains about it. They say, "Huh, they should be watching this." And I'm like, "No, you don't know how the Oscars work.
Well,
You're gonna make it a." That's the thing. Like I learned this from film school. Like everybody makes that thing saying like, "No, yes, I do. I read." No, you don't. You don't know how it works.
I don't really care how.
Barbie got its first win.
Oh, what a win!
Best song,
Ah,
best original song.
and
what
what was
movie?
the song?
What was I made for?
Okay.
And what movie is this?
Barbie.
The Barbie movie.
Oh, okay. But but going back to the Oscars, I may not know what they're for, but I absolutely loved it when Matt Stone and Trey Parker trolled the Oscars.
Oh yeah, I remember
That
that.
was just hilarious.
I do like I do like Seth MacFarlane's night when he hosted, even though he was kind of a one bit thing. I mean, like I'm actually kind of
We
sad
saw your
because
movie.
do you know what I really the one thing I really kind of find depressing is the fact that we were when during the Will Smith Chris Rock incident, we were it was our dress rehearsal night, and I really wish we were going live that night because Jablonski would have been watering his and go like, dude, fucking Chris Rock fucking got freaking slapped by Will Smith. Oh my god. I think my favorite host had to be Neil Patrick Harris because, His name spells out
Dude,
Neil Patrick
you'll
Harris.
go gay for man.
Huh?
You'll go gay for that, man.
I totally will.
My
You hear
favorite
that,
host
Sarah?
is Ricky
Cruiser.
Gervais.
In my defense, who wouldn't?
My favorite host, I would say, is Ricky Gervais, just because
Ah.
everything he was just right here going. Yeah, so everyone here hasn't really completed high school or whatever shit.
But they do have a pedophilia problem.
I will say, I do like what Chris Rock did during the Oscars. He invited his daughter's Girl Scout troop and sold cookies to all the people in the audience. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I also like when
Wow,
Ellen
everything.
DeGeneres ordered pizza. And that pizza boy got the best tip of his life.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pose this question on to everyone here. If you got to host the Oscars, what'd be the one we'll call it publicity stunt would you do?
That's a good question, actually.
None, because I'm never gonna do that. Even if I was asked, I don't want to do any of that shit.
I wouldn't be able to say I'd be a host of the Oscar if I always like to say if I was invited to present one of the awards, I want to be presented as like a Discord screen, like where I'm walking in like this on the screen, and I'm just a box just floating there. He's like, I couldn't afford a plane ticket because Hollywood doesn't appreciate those that are like not worth $2, so thank you.
I just react
Yet you're
along
hosting the Oscars.
What I would probably do is that I would probably give the awards to the wrong people.
Oh my
Because I remember you remember there was that incident with Steve Harvey doing like the beauty pageant and he
Oh, yeah,
called out
yeah.
the wrong name.
I would react along with the whoever won, and whenever I think one calls bullshit, I just go into my code like that's bullshit. There is no possible fucking way.
There was one thing from the Emmys I remember was it was best TV programming. It was and the two people that were nominated were Stephen Colbert and who's the guy who does the Daily Show? Jon
Jon
Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah.
They were nominated, and when it shows like the boxes of all the nominates there, I remember Colbert and Stewart were like just locking hands together, like together, just looking at the screen, and Stewart wins, and he's celebrating, but Colbert is just not letting him go, so he's walking up there and just dragging Colbert behind him. Oh, those two. But like, I like the creativity that's thrown in there. Like the stage itself, I like how the different designs every year. Again, especially my favorite one, especially with Neil Patrick Harris with the changing background. If you don't want to look up, if you want to see it in action, look up the YouTube video for Neil Patrick Harris's Oscar host moving pictures. He's saying his own.
I remember there was actually an incident at the MTV Movie Awards one year where they had sets that changed out, and basically they would, these sets would just get lifted in, up into the rafters.
Oh, I
And
love sets
there
that do
was,
that.
yeah, especially when I see it, like at amusement parks, because everyone's going, "Where the hell did it go?" But no one bothers to look up.
Oh yeah, there's a
But
lot of Broadway sets that do that, which I find really cool.
but
Like,
but this couple, like these two actors get announced, they come down, and but I guess someone forgot to throw the switch to change out the backdrop or the back set piece, and it came up, and it was like maybe this close from hitting her in the head. I mean, but it just kind of like it just bumped her. So they realized we were close to just taking someone's head off. You know that, right?
near-death experiences, it makes money.
And there was another
Oh,
one.
so that's what they did.
Yeah, they almost killed somebody.
No,
Yeah,
so for the I'm just seeing this. So for the visual effects award, they brought out Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Ooh,
Nice.
yeah, I love the visual effects in State Farm, the movie,
The best.
the commercial.
and there was another incident again with the MTV. I think this was actually the music awards, but basically, the band Red Hot Chili Peppers, they were at the time performing with these fire helmets on, like
yeah.
a metal helmets that actually had like this flame that came on top of them, and so they had some actors do the same thing, and they're supposed to go in for a kiss, and as they kiss, the woman is supposed to crank the gas up in the tank to make the flame go up. However, she turned it the wrong way. So she quickly tried to turn, the handle the other way, but it was completely out. So I figured, okay, well, so what? But then suddenly, like, there's this tiny little fire blast that goes from the other guy's head down to hers and just shoots fire straight up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Live TV, folks.
Oh my god. Cruiser, I actually wanted to ask you this. You're a fan of Metallica, right?
Yeah.
How many times has James Hetfield been injured by onstage effects?
I think just once.
Was it? It wasn't twice?
No, the one thing, there was obviously the fire incident, but there
Yeah,
was
of
another
course.
one where he fell off the stage. So not, something that was caused by an effect.
Hold on.
However, the one thing he did do is that he actually started doing that at every single show because the idea is if you do it more than once, people think you did it on purpose.
So I was gonna look up that thing. How many times has James Hetfield been injured on a stage effect? And the first go-to result was how many times has James Hetfield said yeah?
Yeah.
And the first result I get is a visual representation. Sorry, so let's go down this list here. Merciful Fate, 22. It's Electric, 12. Loverman, 9. Turn the Page, 7. Whiskey in the Jar, 7. Crush Course in Bra, 5. Sabra Cadabra, Sabra Cadabra, excuse me, 5. Tuesday's Gone, 5. The More I See, 4. And Astronomy is 2. We got a grand total of 82 yeahs. James Hetfield has said yeah 82 times.
I'll give this guy credit for keeping track.
Wait, is this him?
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm sorry. That's total yeahs, and then there's yeahs per second. I'm not gonna go down the whole thing, but it's 0.0078 yeahs per second. Oh, James. James, how do you do it?
Yeah, as if
That's how
saying
he.
anger
No,
wasn't
Cruiser, you just answered it there. It's like, yeah.
as if saying anger wasn't a big enough embarrassment.
Oh my god. James Hetfield
I
is.
would Yeah, I would talk a bit more about Metallica and stuff like that, but it's almost time for the final five, so
Yeah,
there's no point getting into it right now.
yeah. Remember that one time Metallica tried to do a 3D concert?
I know they did a concert, I just don't remember if it was 3D.
It was a
I
3D
know Ram
movie.
shot that.
It was a 3D movie, and I'm like, yeah, that happened. It's
It was
Final
probably
Five
better than
time. It's Final Five time. It's Final Five time. It's Final Five time. And tonight we're beginning with Kuma. Kuma, your time
I went last
begin.
time.
Oh, you went last time? All right, fine.
Yeah, I
All right,
went first last time.
all right, fine. I'll do Jablonski because Jablonski hasn't been here in ages. Jablonski, your time begins now.
I've really been just doing school and work for the most part. Just been kind of getting by, planning the wedding. Been playing Way Schwartz. And that's really about it. So remember, kids, drink your motherfucking drugs.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Cruiser. Cruiser, your time begins as soon as I can get your screen up there. There. Hands up. Your time begins now.
Okay, the script for the next Hoof Rock is almost done. I've been taking my tablet with me to work and working on the script. And there's going to be a reel of a few cameos on there, so I need to get those sent out to the people who are going to make it. And I just got some feedback from my friend who's a book nerd about the book that I'm writing, and it's rather positive. I'm surprised because I'm not that familiar with the book format. I'm just glad it didn't come off as boring. And I also finally got GarageBand working on my Mac, so I can try to start, tinkering around with it so that I can try to record music. And it's quite possible Lee Tokar and I might be working on a project together.
Nice.
I have no idea how that happened either. I don't know how I got here, but it's kind of cool. I'm not going to reveal much about the project, but
Time.
yeah.
All right. Next up will be Kuma the Drowsy. Kuma the Drowsy. Your time begins now.
Yeah. I have just been double checking and making sure I have everything for my trip to Japan later this month.
Nice.
And from how the time looks, I think I could probably be on stream, depending on like where we're at or where I'm at. So I could probably still be on. It'll probably be day for me though. Yay.
That's fine. If you want to like send us a video at least or something like that, we should just see that's like, let's check on Kuma in Japan right now. I just click and it just shows a video you sent us. It just shows you, I'm eating authentic ramen. Well, it looks like he's doing fine. All right, so that only leaves me. So, World's Incarnation still works. I'm really happy I was able to get After Effects to work on my laptop. That's going to make things a whole lot interesting because I thought it was going to run slow like molasses, but now it's going smooth like butter. The intro is almost done, which means I might be able to have something up by next month at least. So, yeah, keep your eyes open on that, guys. It's almost there. We're almost there. One part at a time. We're almost there. It's just around the corner. I might do a recap video, though. Aside that, I'm just seeing I'm just talking around with people in the Creative Skull Cult. I wanna. So yeah, we're just seeing what I can do with that thing there. Shout out to Chris O'Vamery. Welcome to NATO. So aside from that, nothing else, and I want to thank you for joining us
We
tonight.
have an announcement to make, Evan.
Oh yeah, the announcement Cruiser needs to talk about because he's the guy who does everything to make it possible. I guess Cruiser, just tell him.
8-Bit Eric is going to be joining us March 24th. He's going to be we're going to be interviewing him about his YouTube career, what he's trying to do now as a wrestler, and just talking about the video game scene in general. Its highs, its lows, what's going on with it right now. And so be sure to join us. He'll be taking our questions as yours as well if you got any. So be sure to tune in for that.
Thank you very much. We're now gonna move on to the final one of the day, Kuma's Quote of the Week. Stand by.
Yay! Well, since of the bad, horrible news that the anime community has gotten, my quote comes from the great Goku. And it goes, sometimes life is too uncertain to have regret. Yep, so from all of us here at Ants, give me your power. Goodbye.
It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. End it right.
My life is a bacon-wrapped hell